Yo, 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 welcome to the only The Valley podcast, man. It is good to come on here after a win, after last night was terrible when we had internet problems. I had to leave early. We had all these issues going on, and here we are on a win, and everything's fine. Gabe, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Bro, you know we're not the only Valley podcast. Why would you lie like that? Why would you lie?
I wonder where they got the name from.
Well, Salty, man, it's good to have you back. It really is. Sucks not having you here last night, especially in a loss. I mean, the whole your whole shtick is salt.
My shtick. The thing is, it's not a shtick. It's just who I am. You know.
It's true.
So
it's true.
I was born this way. But yeah, it's good to be back. Had a podcast on my gaming channel. I was tired. I passed out. I was listening to the stream and I just passed out. But yeah, it's probably for the best that I wasn't on because I would have went nuclear on here. You know.
You're not going to go nuclear tonight?
I mean, they won, so not as much, but I was disappointed by the effort from certain people. So
facts. I think we were all disappointed. We had Romp and we had Suns Geek on, so thank you guys for joining. You know, I want to say go ahead and watch last night because we had good takes, but man, it just brings up the saltiness of last night. But no, welcome everyone. It's a W. That's all that matters at the end of the day in the win column. No win, no loss is built the same. It's a W over a Western Conference foe. Granted, probably the worst team in the league, but they have been playing better since they got a new coach, which is why they got a new coach. They needed to rattle the cages in the Minnesota Timberwolves. And we told you, we've been telling you guys, Cat is a beast. I didn't realize I knew Anthony Edwards was good. I didn't realize he was that good. But I think we need to start off with Monty getting kicked out of the game. What'd y'all think of that, Salty?
Clearly the Suns were getting manhandled. Like, I don't want to put the blame for anything that happens on a team loss, like, on the rest, because I feel like that's just a cop-out. But clearly it was kind of one-sided. They were just getting wrecked like multiple times. Booker would drive down the court, you know, on a fast break, clear contact, no foul.
Twice, man.
Fouls on us, and then I think Mikal got fouled, and he's just had enough. And I think it was just the coach just trying to get his boys fired up because the energy was lacking. You know, he was pissed off, obviously. I was pissed off just based off of looking at what the team was offering out there. So it's just kind of one of those things as a coach. Sometimes if you get kicked, maybe it will spark the team. So I think that's kind of what happened.
Gabe?
I can't wait to talk about Ayton. Just kidding. But seriously, burner account, terrific point. He says, how sad is it that Monty showed more aggressiveness this game than Ayton all season? We will get to
there
Ayton.
It is.
There's no chance we won't get to Ayton. But before, let me answer the question about Monty. I was happy, stoked, man. You saw it. You don't have to have your head coach out there to win a game, especially when you have Chris Paul. Something like that can really light a fire under the team and say, man, Monty's hot. Like, let's get it for him. And that was a galvanizing moment where I said to myself, yeah, we're probably going to win this game. No matter what's going on right now. I know we're playing like crap, but him getting tossed is going to get everyone excited. You saw the hard foul by Chris Paul. You saw that we were just hacking and hacking because we were being aggressive and just finally finding that beast inside of us that just is tired of getting pushed around by this lowly team.
Lowly.
Let me hop in real quick. I always say there's a thing called matchups. Sometimes it doesn't matter what your record is. If you match up poorly against a team, then sometimes it doesn't matter record wise. And I think that the Wolves kind of got a bad. I don't know. They're not as bad as their record is, you know, because Cat had COVID and he hurt his wrist. I think he was out for a while, right? And he wasn't full strength, and Anthony Edwards was trying to feel his way out in the game, and people were calling him a bust. And then both of them went off for 40 points each, which I've been watching basketball for a while, and I can't remember when the last time that ever happened. against, like I don't remember a team having 2 40-point scorers. That's just crazy. So I think Anthony Edwards didn't do much tonight, did he? I don't know. I don't have the stats in front of me.
No.
Yeah.
Coach, what was the stat line?
I called it. I told y'all there is no way Cat or Anthony Edwards gets 30 points next game. And Anthony Edwards was 4 of 18 for 11 points.
Yeah, so he got locked down. Obviously, and they're saying this during the broadcast that the T-Wolves got a dose of what playoff basketball would be, because you play a team, they're hyped up, they're on a roll, and then you play them again. It's like a home and home situation. You make adjustments, and then it's up to you to like kind of counter that. So everybody was expecting us to blow them out this game, which semi happened because it was at the end where we kind of pulled away. But I think that we got to talk about, or just kind of a little bit talk about it, because Booker's not immune to criticism. Okay. I feel like
Facts.
I think he loses his cool a little too fast, right? And he doesn't, like, it's easy to get under his skin. And he's been thrown out of a game already because he did shit, right? And he almost got thrown out of this game because he couldn't handle his shit. And they got under his head. Like,
you mean like his emotions?
Yeah, he can't handle his emotions. And then after that, he just could not make a shot. Like, he was just frazzled. The rest frazzled him. The T-Wolves got under his skin. And like he was playing fine before all the shit went down with like them not calling fouls. There's one time where he's on a fast break. He gets ripped, doesn't get a foul called, and he just stays on the other side of the court. Did not run back. He just, like, I love Devin Booker. He's made lots of progress, but I think in this situation, when it becomes a tight basketball game and things don't go your way necessarily, I think he has a tendency to kind of lose his shit. You know what I'm saying? And like I
completely agree.
He doesn't think of his team necessarily, because he's lucky he didn't get his ass thrown out today. Because imagine if Monty gets kicked out and then Booker gets kicked out, more than likely we lose that game, right? So even it's just the thought process of that happening. So he was almost to that point, and you could just see energy-wise just missing shots. Our broadcast team was talking about it. It was like they were talking about how Booker was off and stuff. So I think he needs to work on that.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think Booker, the last 5 quarters of play, which include the 4th quarter of last night, is some of his worst basketball of the season that he's played. This was the 8-6, 8-7, 8-8 Devin Booker that we've seen the last 5 quarters, maybe even the last 6. I don't remember what he got in the 3rd yesterday. But the turnovers are back. He had 5 again tonight. He had, I think, 5 or 6 last night as well, too. This is the guy that's supposed to carry us down the stretch in the playoffs with 4, 5, 6 minutes left in a tie game, down 1, up 1, whatever. He's the one that's supposed to go down and just give him it down low, give it to him on the block. He can post up and do his work down there, and he's good in the mid-range. He didn't do that. Chris Paul didn't do that last night either. That's what really killed me, was Chris Paul not doing it. So it was good to see Chris Paul have a bounce-back game with 20 and 9. I felt like he should have shot a little bit more earlier. But, Book, man, you got to step it up in these crunch times, especially against the worst team in the league. He just looked off tonight, right, Gabe?
Yes, but I got to take a different stance on this than you guys. Honestly, like I don't know. The more I sit here and play the game back in my mind, and the more I play back the last few games or a couple of weeks, I'm not going to be mad at Devin Booker. I'm sorry. Anybody in the chat, like, is it just me, or can we not give Devin Booker an absolute pass and say, you had a bad game, you had a bad night, who knows what's going on with Kendall? You know, God knows it's hard to please a woman of that stature. I'm okay. Okay, look, people want to give this excuse for Ayton. It was just one game. You get so upset about one game. I won't give Ayton that leeway, but I will give Booker that leeway considering the type of player he's been the last couple of months. That's just me personally.
I completely agree, and we do. we just call it like it is on here. And for the last 5 quarters, you've played horribly. We call it like it is. Do you get a pass? If we would have lost tonight, I'm not going to give him a pass at all because your superstar should be able to beat the worst team in the league. But I will say this. I've been really, really on Devin Booker about his defense. I thought his off-ball defense was great tonight. I thought his on-ball defense was good. And he's come up with some really big boards in critical times in traffic too. So he's done a lot more the little things we talked about earlier in the year. If you're going to be an all-star player, you need to do other things if you're not scoring. He did that the last 2 games, and he made some plays and still had 7 or 8 assists. 5 assists. So he was still able to make a few plays. So he did that, right, Salty? Can we give him that credit? Do you agree with Gabe, or are we just going to say nah?
No, I think you're kind of getting me wrong here. I'm not saying that Booker's at fault by any means. You know what I'm saying? It's just another thing that where if he wants to take his game to the next level, it's something I noticed as a player, you know? Like,
absolutely.
I feel like it's relatively easy to get under his skin and get him out of his rhythm. So
that's fair.
Because I've seen it, like he got ejected that one game. He got a tech in this game, and you could just see, like, body language wise, it was not going his way, and it kind of spiraled downhill. And he's the leader of the team, so it's like he starts spiraling. It's like, who's going to pull you out of that? There's Chris Paul, and I was waiting for him to do what he did, which he did pick up the slack scoring wise. But that's what your leader and your all-stars are for, and I think that it's just something he could work on. It's not a major flaw. I mean,
yeah. I wonder with this Chris Paul scoring, we talked last night about when he went on that outburst when Book was out, and all of a sudden we won like 3 or 4 without Booker, and then Book comes back, he's still doing good, and then he tapers off. I just wonder if they're trying different things right now, and they're planning to just unleash Chris Paul the last 10 to 15 games. And really start to get on a groove. What do you guys think? Is that possible? Because I know coaches do that. I mean, we did that. We were trying certain things. We would do different defense, and then we planned the last 2 games of the season, and going into playoffs, we're going to play this defense, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that's something that can be planned. Is that possible, Gabe?
I'm not used to having a good coach, so I don't know. I don't. I don't know if coaches are thinking that far ahead.
Absolutely. You have to be.
I wouldn't put it past Monty to have some schemes like that, but he seems to be scheming up a little too much. You know the saying, let Russ cook? It's kind of like that with Monty. It's like, let Monty chill out and just play a certain set of players. And I don't know, man. He ices players at the wrong time. Tonight, I'm happy with Monty, though. I love him getting kicked out. It was a great way to just turn the emotions. It was a great way to turn the emotions on for the team.
Listen to what you said. I'm happy with Monty's coaching tonight. He got his ass kicked out.
I'm happy he got kicked out, bro.
His rotations were spot on, but they weren't his. Hey. Book and CP3 finished they played the entire third quarter. That's something Monty would never do.
We had to.
Yeah. Who was the dude that took over? I have no idea. I don't think you guys do either.
Willie Green, eat me. Used to play for the 70s. Used to play for the 76ers.
Shout out to him, man. I mean,
shout out to Ron.
So we need to get into this because it's as good of a time as anything. Can we say Nader's trash, bro? I mean, can we just put that out there?
Nader's. Well, I want to. Yes
just
and no.
Commit to it, bro.
Yes and no. And we need to talk about Gallo too. Gallo's an all-star when he plays.
But he's part of it. Okay.
But when what Gabe said last night, and I completely agree with, and I touched after it, was when Nader plays his role and defends and drives when it's open. Mm-hmm. He's great, and he can hit that random shot when he's wide open from the corner. When he starts jacking threes and trying to go through people and take it 1-on-3, you're awful, and you need to be pulled. That's not your role.
So, but that's the problem with Nader, okay? Because he's not all bad. Like, me calling him trash is kind of just my overall thought process on him, because there's times where he'll go up and get a block like he did tonight. He'll get a rebound. He'll do good defense. He'll get a dunk. I think he had a follow-up dunk tonight. And then there's other times, I tweeted this out, where he took this shot where the whole team is basically surrounding him, and he jacks up a shot. He's like, I'm going to get my shot no matter what, and fuck everybody else. It's just like his decision-making makes you scratch your head. He thinks he's Michael fucking Jordan when he makes one shot, and then he bricks about 5 or 6. And those shots could be going to Galloway. And if he puts up those, half of those shots are going in. They're going to be 3-point shots, and Galloway's even worked on his game getting to the basket. Like, he had a midi today. He's not just sitting on the 3-point line. So that makes me scratch my head. Like, I don't understand why our coach has this fascination
Salty
with Nader.
Salty, last night we were talking about Nader, and we were saying, okay, he had a very poor performance. He was really out of his wheelhouse last night. So maybe coach will rein him in probably and play him a little bit less. We expect to see some. Nope, more Nader tonight. I think Nader played even more
Wait till
tonight.
Cam Johnson comes back. Which, shout out Cam. Right. It was nice seeing him. When Cam Johnson comes back, so if Nader doesn't go to the bench, then I riot.
I don't understand health and safety protocols when the guy's in the fucking arena. Like, if he
wasn't out tonight. He wasn't out tonight. He was not on the injury report tonight.
So why isn't he playing in the game?
He probably has no cardiovascular strength.
Yeah, this was probably his first time out that he could be back.
Right. I was like, what is he doing? I'm like, if he's out for COVID, why does he have a mask?
I'm certain it's just, to be an NBA player, you have to be like an Olympic level athlete, cardiovascular strength wise, because they expect you to run on every play, not when it's convenient or not when it's like, I can make a play. It's like, you have to run every play. And that takes a certain special type of super athlete cardio. And he's probably not there. He's probably got better cardio than the three of us put together, but I don't know.
He probably got COVID cardio too. So
yeah. So we got Torrey Craig or whatever that guy's name is for cast considerations.
You're ready to put him in over Nader.
Yes. And then more so what I'm ready to do is when Cam comes back, I want Aldridge. I think they should make a push to get him, because the Frank Kaminsky project is officially foreclosed. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is on bust status. Like, I've had enough with that dude. I don't want to see him on the court no more. He just seems like he's just happy to be on the court at this point. You know what I'm saying? So we could definitely get an upgrade there.
I was reading the comments. Who?
Frank Kaminsky.
He had an okay night.
What did he do? Look at his stats.
That air ball.
Don't talk about the
air ball that he shot.
I'm talking fourth quarter. He came in, got us some buckets.
So you're trying to tell me that we can't get an upgrade?
He got some stops on Cat, which was more than
DA did. We could absolutely.
We can't get an upgrade for Frank Kaminsky. That's what I'm saying. We need to get one. We need to.
You're right.
We need a defensive center to come in, play that role, whatever. Aldridge.
That's Drummond then, not Aldridge, right?
Either or, I don't care. Just another big to take that role, because Frank Kaminsky's fine for right now because he's filling a role. But I'm talking about in the playoffs, if you want to go on a run, potentially what you guys are talking about, like contending, you need to look at like what you have versus what you need to get through it, you know? And I don't think Frank Kaminsky's your dude.
Salty, can you see the chat?
What's up?
Can you see the chat?
Yeah.
Do you mind shouting out the chat, man? It's lit already. We appreciate you guys.
I'll give shout outs to who I can see. Gabe Martinez, Charles said Salty's back. I didn't even know if you guys would have noticed I was gone. Romp was in here. I don't know. He said, fuck this, I'm out. So I don't know who offended him. Roy's in here. Iverson Blogs followed me on Twitter. Shout out to him. A burner account. We got some who else is in here? We got some
Roy
Portland
and
guys.
Reagan, Kenny, yeah. Leo, what's going on, y'all? CJ the GOAT, it's nice to see you again in here, so we appreciate that, because I know your boys over on Rise Up are Blazer. What is it? I'm so sorry.
Blazers Uprise, yeah.
Uprise. They're on right now too, and they had a game tonight. So shout out to you guys.
So
yeah, man.
I don't know. I'm just looking forward to the future, and then like what players pass the eye test and which ones don't. Nader's fine for the regular season, but I don't want him in the playoffs at all. You know what I'm saying? Galloway, I love, and I don't understand because do you guys remember when I talked about Galloway? I don't know who I talked to in the beginning of the year, but I was like, damn, I love this dude. Like from the get go, like I didn't even know who he was. I didn't know who that he played for. Yeah, I was just like, wow, this guy's fucking good. We need to play this dude. He is lights out from three. He's just instant firecracker on three. Fastest jump shot, reliable.
But then you started calling him a one-trick pony. I'm not going to let that.
Which he was, which he is technically, but we talked about this because I already said that Galloway is trying to get to the basket more, which he did not do in the beginning of the year. He never drove to the hoop, never shot a mid-range shot. He was just stuck on the corner three, did not move really, and he was just a shooter. So obviously he talked to the coach, and he's trying to get to the basket more. He's making layups. He's shooting mid-ranges, which making him less one-trick pony style. And then with his defense, it is what it is. You have more defenders to fill that role, that's fine. What he brings on the offensive end more than makes up for what his defensive liabilities are, if that makes sense.
I completely agree.
It up. He lights it up.
The last two games that I watched, I specifically watched him, and his defense was a lot better. Now, I'm saying, like, if I'm grading it out of a 10, it was like a 6 out of 10, maybe a 6.5. But before, he was like a 3 or a 4. It was just awful. It didn't feel like he was moving his feet at all. They were in cement. And now he's doing that. It looks like he's actually playing, and he's playing hard now, too. And the dude can just straight shoot it. We just have seen it, that Detroit game where he had, I don't know how many threes. He was 4 or 5 tonight. He doesn't even look like he's on balance, and his shot looks so weird. But every time he shoots, you know it's going in. He had a pull up, his finger rolls last night. He is a nice player that I really want to see get worked in a whole lot more. And it was great to see him tonight. With Cam Johnson coming back, though, I don't know if he'll be ready for the Laker game. I hope he is. Maybe he'll play short there. I just really feel like Nader's got to be the one that gets moved to the bench there. But I told you guys I had a weird feeling about the Craig move was because we're going to move somebody out. Like, I just get a weird feeling. So to be determined. But fun thing that I just noticed, and this doesn't matter because it just happened to us, but the Lakers are playing tomorrow night, and they play us on Sunday. So they are coming off of a back-to-back, which, take it for what you will. It's LeBron James and the NBA. It ain't much, but if there's anything going in our favor, it's that we're at home and they're off of a back-to-back. And, you know, I'll take that for an extra 2 points maybe. What else do you want to talk about, Gabe? There's a lot we can digest without even going into Ayton with this game. We can talk about
we are breaching everyone in the chat. We are breaching on the 25-minute mark, and we have not had a significant Ayton rant.
We're going to go to the 30-minute mark. Can we talk about the refs,
we're
actually?
going to keep going. We got some good comments.
Wait. Yeah, what about Romp's comment?
That's what I wanted to bring up. Thank you.
Oh, go.
Thank you. So I wanted to bring up Romp's comment. He asked me this last night with Suns Geek. Shout out to Suns Geek. Ye are sorely missed. As Romp pointed out, we've got load management for Suns Geek. He needs that Kawhi load management treatment. But he says, do you guys think that Monty is a championship level coach a la Steve Kerr stepping in and taking the Warriors to the promised land? Or is he just the Mark Jackson who fixes the culture, gets the team on the right path, and are we going to need some other coach to step in and finish the job?
You want me to answer, or you want Salty to go first?
Either of you guys.
You can go.
Honestly, from all the interviews and everything that I watched before he was hired, I think that him choosing us over the Lakers says a lot that LeBron wanted him there. I think that fact alone is really big. And when I listened to everything that he went through as a coach before and what he learned from it, it gives me great faith. Then I hear about all the different players that he worked with and what they thought of him. He worked in Philly. I'm blanking where else he was assistant. I think it was Portland. So we're hearing the Stars and what they said about him gave me a lot. And then hearing when he got the job and his wife passing away. And this is the first time, he decided he was ready to do it, which I think as a man, that really says a lot, that you needed to take time off and then you come back and you're like, I'm ready to pursue this again. And then hearing after the win, it's him saying, this is the first time, this is my first win without her being here. I think it shows to the level of, obviously he's mature, he's the coach, but the level of a man he is. And I think that speaks a lot. Now, when we get to the X's and O's, I feel like he presses the right buttons with the right players at the right time. I mean, it's the NBA. We're going to lose to the T-Wolves. We're going to lose to the Pistons, right? But he has a way with the players, and they think he's a championship level coach. And Chris Paul chose to come back here after seeing him in New Orleans fail. He decides to come back and want to play for this coach. Devin Booker wanted to play for him. I think those say so much about him. And then I hear EJ say how good he is about drawing up plays, out of bounds plays, out of timeouts and things like that. I think that means the world too. All these things put together, I absolutely 100% agree that Monty Williams is a championship caliber coach. Salty?
First of all, you can't really tell like what a coach is until he actually gets to the playoffs. So, I mean, it's impossible to say. He could be a really good regular season coach, and then he could suck in the playoffs. We're not going to really know until we get there. But I'm liking everything that I'm seeing from the coach. He's the first guy that could actually turn around this disaster of a franchise and get things out of players that couldn't, that other coaches couldn't get out. He just demands people to buy in, which I like. If you don't play the way I want, you don't play. Gets people to buy into the system, gets the people to buy into winning without like bullshit fluff like Watson was doing with all of his like isms and shit and like telling like all kinds of different stories and stuff. It just he trained under Popovich. I think he reminds me a lot of Popovich, I would say. But it just takes experience, and I think it's just going to take some time, and you can't really say what's going to happen. But I'm excited to see what he does in the playoffs and see what happens and see how these players react, because it's a different animal, So I think, long story short, I think he is the dude. I think he learned his lesson from his other coaching stints. Where was he? The Pelicans when he was a coach, an actual coach?
Yeah, I think they were the Hornets at the time, but yeah.
Yeah. So he had his failure there, and I think he learned his lesson, and, he's been under good coaches, and I think that players obviously respect him, and our GM picked him, and there's kind of a synergy there. So he gets the most of his players, and if you're not really his type of player, you're not going to really play.
I mean, if nothing else, the culture is 100% better. We never would have seen our owner on the plane wearing DeAndre Ayton's chain, however cheesy that it is. I just think him and James Jones have just created an amazing, I don't even know what to call this because of what we've had, team, family, bonding, everything that they've done together. And I hope he's the guy. I really, really hope he's the guy. I want Monty Williams to be the GOAT of Suns coaches. But what you're asking is he Cotton Fitzsimmons, who everybody loves and adores? Or is he Paul Westphal, the guy that's going to put you over to the edge to get you to that championship level? And we love Paul. We love Paul, but I think we all love Cotton more.
For all the nice coaches we've had, none of them got the job done. So
no.
I'll give you one analogy from football, and that's all. I'll go there. The Cardinals are extremely talented, very talented, and I don't like their coach, right? I would say, how much confidence do I have in the coach and the GM? It's about 0 when it comes to our coach over there. So you can have all the talent in the world, and if you have a bad coach, then you're probably not going to do stuff. But how does that compare with me and Monty? I have full confidence in Monty.
Yeah.
Like Cliff Kingsbury, dude, I have no confidence in him. So when you ask me, can this guy be a championship coach? Fuck yeah, dude. I think this guy's one of the best coaches in the NBA, to be honest.
At the same time, Wisenhunt almost got a freaking Super Bowl ring. So so who knows? But real quick, his coaching career, I got it up if you guys are interested. Actually, some stuff I didn't know. I mean, I knew, but I didn't remember. I knew that he was with the Spurs as a coaching intern in 2005. He was hired by Nate McMillan and the Trailblazers for a while, then went to the Hornets. I didn't know that he was on the basketball staff for the 2016 Summer Olympics team, which was Jim Boeheim, Thibodeau, among others on that staff. They weren't even head coaches, so you know the talent level and the guys that he's been around who respect him. And then in 2018 he was the lead one in Philadelphia, and then he came to the Phoenix Suns. So he's learned from the best. He's learned from Coach K. He's learned from Popovich. Learned from Brett Brown, and then you coached with Thibodeau, Jim Boeheim, and you had all those plethora of players around you. I think he's the man. I really, really, really do. And it's not even want, like I said before. I really actually think he is.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we got our guy finally. And you know, not to bring up football or anything like that, but it's kind of like I feel like the Suns are kind of like in a position where my Huskers were at, where we kept getting rid of coaches and expecting somebody to come in and fix it. And it's like, no one wants to go to Nebraska, bro. You need to learn to be happy with the good coach you get. So like who we have right now, yeah, we're losing, but he's got a long leash because we realize that we're not anything very special. The Suns have been stuck in that position. So I think Monty has a long leash because he's made us special.
So there's a question in the chat. Do you think that Monty can get the most out of Ayton? And I don't think it's Monty's responsibility to get the most out of Ayton. I would say that Mark Bryant probably isn't the best coach to be
that
a
I'll
post
agree
coach.
with.
Like, why the fuck is he the post coach? Like, get someone better. What did Mark Bryant ever do in his career?
I'll never
Crickets.
I'll never talk down on the assistant coaches because I know how hard they work and what they do.
That's
So
fine, but
we don't know what they're teaching or what they're doing. With a staff that everybody thinks, people that actually are in the organization.
Whoa. You guys are sliding into Ayton talk.
No.
No, this is coach talk.
He looks at the clock. He looks to see how
33.
much time it's been.
33 minutes.
Oh,
No, but
God.
with a staff that everybody thinks is good at what they do, and everybody cheers for them and they hype them up and everything, isn't that more of an indicator of a guy that's not progressing as opposed to why is Cam Johnson progressing then? Then why is Mikal Bridges progressing? Oh, DeAndre Ayton's not the one doing it out of everybody else. That says more about the player than the coaches. But with that said, I would like a better coach in there as opposed to one. So I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you at the end of the day, but I don't know what they're coaching.
I'm just like, get someone with the pedigree, because like Patrick Ewing was I think he was like with I don't know where this guy is, but he was like an assistant coach with Orlando, and there's big men, you know, in the NBA and the coaching.
You talking about Patrick Ewing right now?
Yeah, he's
coaching at Georgetown
He's
now.
a Georgetown coach. He ain't.
Yeah, he's an actual head coach now.
He just won the Big East.
I don't follow college basketball.
I know.
I could give two shits about where he is.
No, I'm saying that's the only reason.
The point is what I'm saying. He was with Orlando at one point, and he did have a storied career as a big man. If you do want DeAndre Ayton to actually do something, maybe you would invest in someone a little bit more high profile. But I don't know if anybody could fix his mental side because he's a mental midget and he's a beta male. So you can't fix that. You can't fix low IQ. You can't fix low drive or low T. I mean, you can give him some testosterone boosters, but he got popped for PEDs, and it seems like it's been downhill ever since he got off the juice. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. Like, it is what it is, and he just frustrates me more than any player. And like, he hit his shoulder and he was like grimacing, and I don't want players to get hurt, but I was almost like, yay, he's not going to play anymore because he's a bitch. I mean, this guy is just he got smoked 2 games in a row, couldn't stay in this game if he wanted to, and people were blaming the refs, and it's like, dude, the refs aren't responsible for his low IQ.
It's 2 nights in a row that it happened to, and obviously Cat is a far superior player by every stretch of the imagination. But if you're gonna defend, what do you have? 8 points and 6 boards.
Can I defend myself real quick? Listen, guys, in the chat, claiming that I have Suns Geek in a dungeon under my house and I'm lowering lotion to him in a basket, okay? Whether or not I do, which I may, you guys bringing it up in chat isn't going to make me let him out any faster, okay? He's got videos to make. You guys see how many videos he's been making of us. Why would I let him out of my basement when I have this type of control over him? Okay? Moving on. Are we going to DA? Is that where we're going?
Either that or Sasha Vujacic or...
Oh, I really thought you slipped up that time, but you did it on purpose. Okay.
Yeah,
I've got some other notes. I wanted to say something about Cam Johnson. Okay? So we did the right thing officially, letting Kelly Oubre go. I saw tonight for sure. I wanted to tell Geek this if he were here. But, you know, because he's still so in love, right? But would we let him go? We went 8-0 in the bubble, right? Like, that's what our team looks like without Kelly Oubre. Look at what our team looks like without Cam Johnson. Not so good. We don't look like an 8-0 bubble team with Cam Johnson over Oubre, right? So I think it was just one of those things that hit me in the face today, like, yo, Cam was the guy, not Kelly. Chill out. Throw away your Oubre jerseys. Throw away your Oubre shirts. You know? Geek, not me. I've already moved on. And I know Salty's moved on from Oubre.
He's a glue guy, man. He's a dude that accepts his role and excels at it to the point where they can't take him off the court in the fourth quarter. He's a glue guy. He's got confidence. I want him to shoot at a 40% clip, and I think he'll get there because he's that talented. But now he's developing moves off the dribble, exactly like Mikal did. So what's he going to do next year? He's going to do what Mikal did this year. Start taking that mid-range little floater, that 8-foot or 9-foot floater that Mikal does, right? And they're homies, man. Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson are homies. So just having your friend next to you, playing with you, you can't understate that either. Organic chemistry is the X factor for this team, and Monty and James Jones have done it. Cam Johnson is more important than Nader, right, Salt?
More important than Nader. I mean, that's a low bar to set, but yeah. Jesus.
We have Cowboys more important than Nader that mop up the sweat.
He's the dude that's good that he's going to replace. Yeah, he's going to get sent to the bench, right?
I've never how bad. When have I ever said bad things about Cam Johnson? I don't know. I don't know if I've ever said bad things about Cam Johnson.
You and I have called him out for like a bad game, like, oh, you shot 1 for 8, you need to do this. Like that's.
I mean, people have those games. I've never really. I love Cam Johnson, man. I've never really had ill will towards him. He puts forth the effort. His shot's killer. He's tall. He's developing other facets of his game like normal NBA players do, not DA where you regress. He's doing everything they want to. They're asking for him. They try to like accelerate his path to a starter a little too fast, and they pulled back on the reins there. But I think he fits perfectly into the role of like a 6-man or, that bench, kind of filling out the bench right now. Potentially, is he a starter in the future? Yeah, but not at this point on this team. But he's very important going into the future, and I think he's tied together with Bridges. Both of them go hand in hand. They're in the core with Booker and Chris Paul as long as he wants to play. And who else would be in that core? I think that's your main, your main players there. Dario's in there. Crowder is just kind of there with his contract. He's in the core right now. And then everybody else is just kind of like expendable, I think. If you could get better.
The superstar, yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about a superstar, right? We're not talking about somebody maybe if Cam is a B player, a B plus. No, we're talking about a superstar.
Yeah, something like, if you can get better, like the untouchables on the team. Who's untouchable for you guys? Like, is Cam untouchable? I don't know. It's up to you guys. Bridges.
It depends on the level we're talking about.
Depends on who's coming in.
Yeah, 100%. Nobody.
Yeah.
Other than Book, there's nobody else I wouldn't trade if we were getting Embiid. You know what I mean?
Just start the Ayton rant. They said. I mean, you want me to go off? We could go off, dude. I mean,
hey, can I start it?
You're the one that derailed it.
Go full screen.
I'll start it.
I'll
toss it right to you.
We were lighting the fire, and then
I just thought it would be interesting.
Let's talk about Cam Johnson.
I thought it would be interesting to go one podcast where we don't immediately launch down Ayton's throat. Okay, sue me.
Go full screen, bro.
Okay, well, I don't really have that much. I wanted to read one of the very first comments, but dude, I think we've had so many comments I can't even scroll all the way up to the top. So somebody
Shout
in here,
you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for real. Somebody was saying they were showing the stat line for Ayton in the 3 games versus Cat this year. And if whoever that was, if you don't mind reposting that, I think it was Iverson Vlogs. It's stark, fellas. It's a gut shot. Okay, so tonight my observation, because I took notes of just that matchup. The way you're watching Langston Galloway, that's the way I was watching that matchup between Ayton and Cat. So in the first quarter, Ayton had 9 points. Sorry, Ayton had 6 and Cat had 9. 6 to 9. Not too bad. 3 points less, right? No biggie, you know? And he looked active. They were feeding him. Book hit him with a lob. Ayton got 2 or 3 little turnarounds, didn't he? Was he not active as hell in the first quarter? Then he comes out.
He didn't have any fouls either.
You know when his next point was? Okay, so he goes out, his regular rotation. He leaves in the first quarter, plays the rest of the game. His next time scoring is 3 minutes and 51 seconds left in the fourth.
Yep.
With a spoon-fed alley-oop by CP3 that Salty himself would have tomahawked given the opportunity. Okay, so Cat dropped 60 in the last 2 games on us, 60-something in the last 2 games. And Ayton tonight it's just he's absent, bro. He's not there. It's like, would we be any worse just playing Sticks and letting Sticks have all of Ayton's minutes? Would it be any worse than 6 and 5? Do you think Sticks could score more than 6 points and 5 rebounds against Cat?
I guarantee he'd have more than that, dude. What can you say, dude? It's like when you guys played basketball, right? When you knew you were playing against a far superior player. There's some times where we play pick-up basketball and these college dudes would come on, and no matter how much effort you gave, you just knew you're not as good as them, right? And they just dick you on the court if they wanted to, because they're far superior physically. They're far superior just skill-wise, and no matter what you do, you just know you're not up to snuff, and that's just what DA feels like when he's playing against a caliber of Cat. He shrivels up like a penis in a cold water. You know what I'm saying? This dude just disappears. Like this guy, he couldn't pull out testosterone to save his life. He's scared of Cat. And Cat on the other side, because I swear to God, you look at the Suns stands, right, when they defend Ayton, they called him an elite defender earlier in the year. And we even hopped on that train, right, with the rebounding and defending. If he was an elite defender, Cat would be intimidated to go up against him, at least think it's a challenge. But Cat was almost like he was like a guy that was about to eat a buffet. Like, what am I going to have next? God damn, I can't wait to get to the rack on this dude. He's going to either foul me and foul out, or I'm going to stroke a 3 and it just totally – it's just like he had no contest or any kind of trouble getting to the rack, shooting threes in his eyes, just – Cat just straight up dicked this dude, and there was nothing DA could do. It was like unstoppable because he doesn't know how to guard him. He doesn't want to guard him. If he tries to guard him, he fouls him, then he fouls out, and the look on his face. And they were doing an interview, and I talked about this interview, that it's typical DA answer. Because he was asked, he's like, DA, you haven't played the last 3 fourth quarters. I mean, how does that make you feel? And he's like, man, I don't feel anything. That was his first response, right? I just want this team to win. And like, you would think on paper that that's an okay response because
like that's great, but
he's putting the team first. But it's not that. You want someone to have the fire burning within them, and that's not happening with DA, okay? Because the response that you would want to hear is, I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't put myself in a position to need to be on the court for my team. And I want to be on the court in the most important times. And I want to be that guy. I apologize for not getting that done. That being said, I'll do what the coach wants me to do because I want our team to win. It doesn't make me feel any kind of feeling. That means you're kind of just along for the ride. You're kind of happy in your situation. You're a beta male. You're just going to go with the flow. You don't really expect to be great, nor do you want to be great. And you're just going to get paid, and you're just going to be kind of a semi-good player, a role player on teams. And that's your ceiling. That's who you are. You're DeAndre, and it's okay. I don't feel that way. So that's who he is. And that's why he is going to be what he is. His contract's coming up. We said, once he gets with CP3, man, his talent's going to go through the ceiling. CP3 dimes everybody. He's throwing lobs to everybody. His offense is going to go through the roof. And what has happened? His offense has digressed. So what's going on?
Supremely. He's gotten worse on every little bit, on every
hell of a rant. Hell of a rant.
You guys wanted a rant? That's a rant, dude. So,
bro, this is what I needed last night. I needed this during a loss, but I appreciate you bringing it tonight. And he gave us an even worse stinker tonight than he did the night before. Tried to let us down. Tried to lose the game. Man, I don't want to be right about Ayton. Do you think that I feel good about this, guys? Do I look like someone who's enjoying himself?
No, this is trash. Bro, we just saw what it's like, what 2 number 1 picks did to us last night. We know what a number 1 pick can do and is supposed to do. And here's this dude going out, throwing out 8 points and 6 rebounds.
I'm so glad you brought that point up that you were saying about that interview, because Romp brought that up, and his take yesterday, I just didn't get to address it. His take was, and he seems like a good kid. He seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's a team player. They asked him how he feels about not playing in the fourth quarters, and he said he doesn't feel any bad ways. He just wants to win, and that's cool. And I really feel like you guys, like, I don't know, man. When you're the number 1 overall pick and you're built like Jesus would be built if he wanted to play basketball, like I just feel like maybe you should have a little bit more fire in your belly to say, I want to work hard enough to show Monty that I belong on the court in crunch time. Is that too much to ask?
No. Do you think Anthony Edwards would be okay with him sitting in the fourth quarter of any game?
No, it would probably. It seems like it would eat away at him.
It's just anybody that has half of a competition bone, any kind of competitive spirit, it eats at you when you don't play. I know when I was playing on basketball teams, if I got pulled and I didn't get enough playing time, deep down inside, that would just eat me up, right? Gabe, am I kind of spitting?
Definitely, it's the worst feeling. It's the worst feeling. Being on the bench, waiting for the coach to look your way, just hoping.
So it's
not that it's ever happened to me. That never happened to me. I'm just saying. I heard from some guys.
So it's
it was us.
So Ayton really hasn't had to fight for anything. Like, he went to college, got paid to be there, right? Under the table at U of A. They're under sanctions now because that's what happened. He knew he was going to play there. He didn't have to fight for his position. He just naturally is talented, so he just kind of does the minimum and dominates in college. And then he gets in the NBA. He's getting this fat contract. He's with, living in a big house. Everything's set for him. He's playing NBA 2K. He's living the life. So, I mean, from that perspective, he could be satisfied with his life, but he doesn't necessarily need to have that drive to kind of get it done in the NBA. And that's the problem with him. If he did have that drive like Dario or anybody with half of a competitive bone in their body, he would be what we drafted him to be. That's the problem, though. He doesn't have that drive, and I don't think he ever will. That's what he is missing, and you can't fix that with the coach. You can't fix that with a specialist that comes in. You can't give that dude the desire to be like Kobe and like dunk on fools and break their hands if they go up on you, you know?
I got to give you your props, Salty. You really saw this shit a mile away. And I hated when you would say shit like that about Ayton. I felt like you were being so salty. Like true, I felt like you were just, I don't know, like, I know his name's Salty, but could he really be turning on DA this early in his career? But you were already here. Where the three of us stand, you were here last season.
It's because honestly, what was eating at me was the Doncic situation before, and that got me salty. But I'm way past that. I've already come to terms with the Doncic draft. I've come to terms with all of that, and now I'm just looking at this dude as a player. I don't even care about anything else. I'm just looking at him as a player, and just from a talent perspective, what he's not getting out of his own body just pisses me off, because there's so many millions of people that would kill to have what he has, and he takes it for granted, and that's just annoying as fuck, dude. Like, dominate with your shit. I would be breaking fools' hands if they came up and try to block my shot, dude. Like, with his power and his ability, like, if you gave me his body, you transplanted my fucking brain into his. Freaky Friday style, I would be ripping rims down. I would be doing kind of crazy shit. You couldn't pull me out of the game because I would be dunking on fools.
You'd be so amped up.
Yeah, I mean, but that's who I am. But I wasn't given his body or his talent. That's why you see this dude. They're just like, why can't you have that, dude? Like, what is your issue? And it's just who he is. Some people are just born that way, where they're just kind of just go with the flow. They're like sheep. You know what I'm saying? They're not leaders. They're just followers, and they just kind of go with the flow. And that's what he is. He's Jamaican, right? So, I mean, it's you toke up some weed and you're just kind of going with the flow.
He's
you know what I'm saying?
Jamaican. He's not even Jamaican.
He's from Jamaica, dude. His family
country.
is, bro.
I think it's a different country. Where's Ayton from, chat? Please.
It is Jamaica, dude. I swear to God.
I don't think it's Jamaica. Where is it?
His family.
Bahamas.
Same shit.
No, it's not. Oh, maybe it is.
Bro.
Is it the same? How close is it? How close?
It's an island. They took up there too.
I don't think it's the same thing, but I get what you mean. He's smoking that Bahama weed.
You get a Bahama mama on the fucking Bahama beach, and you're kind of just going with the flow. It's the same shit. Jamaica, the island life, just fucking chilling, going with the flow. You know.
He's from Kokomo, is where he's from. Actually,
I don't give a fuck where he's from. He doesn't have. He doesn't have the drive, dude. That's the point, man. So.
Oh man, absolutely. I mean, Coach, what'd you see in Ayton tonight?
Oh, we don't need to talk about Ayton anymore.
No, we do. We're barely scratching the surface.
He's garbage. He's absolutely garbage.
I won't say garbage, folks. That's Coach. Throw your hate at him. I won't say garbage.
Yeah, he is garbage. People, his teammates are fed up with him. I don't even want to watch the man play basketball. And I tweeted at the beginning of the season, the more I watch DA, the less I want to. I don't want to watch any more of DA. You're right with the chat. Somebody said something and I can't even find it now. I think it was, for the hell of it, would you rather play Sticks? And I was like, you know what? For the hell of it.
Doesn't that sound kind of interesting?
For the hell, I'm more interested to see Sticks' potential than watching DeAndre Ayton regress every single game. Because what the chat said, if Book and CP3 and Monty can't fix him, man, go away then. We should have traded him a long time. He will not be a Phoenix Sun next year.
This is going to sound crazy, right? Maybe this is a wild take. But what's Ayton? Oh, Sasha. It had to happen. What is Ayton averaging this year?
I had it up just a second ago. It was like 14.1 and 11.1, but after today's game,
14.1 and 11.1. I just want to say this. I truly believe that Sticks, if he started and got all the minutes that Ayton was getting, I think he could do very close to the same.
To that, yep.
Is that crazy?
I don't think it's
maybe
crazy.
Maybe not rebounding, but points wise, easily.
Yeah, because he can stroke threes.
Yeah. Opens the floor up more for Booker.
3 threes, you got 9 points.
This is getting bad, guys. This is getting bad.
He doesn't pick and rolls, and you're at 12, 14.
Well, when I got accosted earlier in the season, this would have been way more fun earlier in this season. And I don't know if you guys remember that when I went in onto it with Ayton's World. And there was one fan that called me out, but then it was like, oh, you actually think he's good on defense? And I'm like, yeah, he's doing this, he's doing that, yada, yada. And he's like, okay, well, if Ayton gets like 20 and 12, are you going to be mad? And I was like, no, I don't think so, but we'll wait and see. But if he averages 13 and 8, are we going to have a different conversation? There's no way he's going to average 13 and 8. Okay, now what are we talking about?
Much closer to that.
I mean, because in the beginning of the year, the narrative was Ayton is focusing on rebounding and defense, right? That was the narrative. But that shit's gone down the hill too. So what is he focusing on now?
14.2 points and 11 rebounds flat. He is close to getting under 11 now.
I want to say
under 14.
I think Sticks could probably average like 11 and 10, maybe like 11 and 9.
An interesting 11 and 10, a progressive 11 and 10.
Something that could continue to build forward. I don't know that Ayton is going to go any further than this. Like, I think we're seeing we always talk about McGee. He's almost kind of like a JaVale McGee. Is he not? He's much more athletic.
JaVale McGee is like actually has fire, dude.
That's
I think
true.
JaVale McGee is also one of the more gumpy players right after Frank Kaminsky in the league too.
He's like stumbles over himself.
Well, here's I don't know.
Can you read JW's comment? He's killing it. He's got 2 comments.
He needs his. That's way back.
Bro,
remember when DA said to Boole that they won't be able to double you because of me? To Book.
Yes, I remember when Salty called me on the phone and was like, "Hey, did you hear what my boyfriend Ayton said?"
That's a good point.
He said that they won't be able to double Book because of him, and I was like, "Calm down, Salty." No, but seriously, I definitely remember me and Salty having a conversation about that.
So
the next Shaq and Kobe.
And then he says, DA also sold us a dream, calling him and Booker the next Kobe and Shaq. So go ahead.
They have a newspaper article you can find. I just saw it. I think I was looking for an avatar for tonight, like crying Jordan's son something. And then you see like the Booker and DA article from like, I think AZ Central or something about the next Shaq and Kobe or some shit.
Here's some bullshit right here. First, Jalen Smith is 6'10" with a 7'2" wingspan. Jalen Smith is 225. DeAndre Ayton is listed at 250. So obviously that's a big weight gap for if you're going to go against Karl Anthony Towns. So that needs to be addressed, obviously.
Who's got more testosterone?
Oh, absolutely. But here's the weird thing. On Draft Express, and this is what they use for wingspan as well. DeAndre Ayton on Draft Express is 7'1" with a 7'6" wingspan. Everywhere else that I've seen, he still has a 7'6" wingspan, but he's actually 6'11". So it does not look like DeAndre Ayton has Mo Bamba wingspan here, okay? I don't think he's 7'6". I mean, I would take a 7'3" or 7'4" wingspan, but he does not look 7'6". 7'2".
That's about what Mikal Jail's working with.
I don't know if I really believe that. Now, Mo Bamba is 7'10". That's ridiculous. Actually, I'm just curious about Mikal real quick while we're on it, but it does not seem like if they're using that same measurement, but they're lowering the height, that he would have that. I mean, it's possible, But they lied about a lot of things with DeAndre Ayton. So I thought we were getting a 7'1" center. I didn't know he was actually 6'11" until like this
Well, he
year.
claims, bro. I can show you an interview when they were doing DeAndre Ayton's rookie face scan.
7'1" wingspan for Mikal Bridges, by the way.
Yeah. So I can show you a video of when they were doing DA's face scan for 2K. And in there, you know, he's like, "Oh yeah, make sure you get everything right." And they're like, "Okay, so we've got you, blah blah blah." And 6'11". He goes, 6'11". I'm 7'1". I'm 7'1".
That's that lying University of Arizona gotta always cover it up mentality, right? Salt, yeah, you giggled at that. You know I'm right.
Hey, what was I gonna say, dude? God
Come
damn
on.
It. Hey, what did Kwame Brown average in his first couple of years in the NBA?
Curious. Who was the center that got drafted? Olowokandi. I think he was number one.
Yeah. I'm just curious on Kwame, like what he was getting, because Kwame got drafted, and I was just trying to put my mind into a fan thinking about Kwame, being like, "Oh, Kwame's gonna get better, man. He's gonna turn it around. Just wait for his third year, bro. He's a big man."
That was stupid of anybody to think. Looking back at these, I would have had a field day back in the day if my number one pick averaged 4.5 points and 3.5 rebounds my first season.
So that's like legit bust status, right?
Is that your dog, Salty?
It's mine.
Stupid. Damn dogs. But his third season, for reference, Kwame Brown had 10.9 and 7.5 rebounds. So obviously DeAndre Ayton's better and has been better in every category. So that's not fair. Michael Olowokandi, ooh, I would have. This is different too. Olowokandi, 9 points, 8 boards, rookie year. 9.8, 8.2 second, and then 8.5, 6.4. His best year was his fifth year, actually. His last one with the Clippers. 12.3 points and 9.1 rebounds. Kwame's best year was his third year at 10.9 and 7.4 rebounds, for what it's worth.
Guys, we've slid down into the 3 spot.
That's fine, because we're going to beat the Lakers in 2 days, and we'll go right back up there.
I don't think seeding matters. Like I said, top 4, shuffle them around. I don't think none of that matters, dude.
Well, they've got some fans in the houses.
Yeah, but it's not like a packed arena, and I don't think the arenas are going to be packed by then either, dude. I just don't see it happening.
Man, still.
So, I got something we need to talk about, and I think we need to go in depth. I'm lagging a little bit here. I'm sorry. Let me get out of this. We need to go in depth a little bit on this. Dude, the referees the last 2 games. This refereeing, and there was a point in the third quarter. It was either the third quarter, maybe it was the second, right after Monty got kicked out, where the refs were calling something every play down. One team would get the ball, we're going to call this. One team would get the ball, we're going to call that. It was absolutely god-awful officiating. There is no way that the league can sustain this, especially considering that they took pride on themselves for being a much more physical league than you think they are, because they were getting downplayed by the NHL and NFL in the 80s, and in the 80s, at the beginning of the 80s, they were being downplayed as being soft. Well, what happened in the 80s? Man, they prided themselves on that. And then all of a sudden, no hand checking comes in, and it became one of the worst sports. It goes down to college basketball too. Salty, you don't follow it now, but I know you did. We used to talk off of after ASU basketball games. But basketball as a whole, man, is not a soft sport. It is a contact sport. Right, Gabe? You play it a lot. Like, what do you think of this officiating? This is god awful, right?
I don't even know where to go with it, man. My conspiratorial brain.
That's why I passed it to you, man, because I don't know what the hell's going on. They're calling these late calls after the shot goes in. They're running down. Beep. Oh yeah, that's a foul. Go shoot your and one.
I mean, so the conspiratorial side of me wants to think the Suns are doing too good. The Suns are showing up these LA squads. the league doesn't want the Suns to be in the position that they're in because we're not a moneymaker for the NBA. And they're going to start screwing us over. You think it's bad now? Just wait until we get a playoff series with against a player that the NBA prefers moves on to the next round.
We're going to find out on Monday. Oh my God, I don't even know what today is. Sunday. We're going to find out Sunday when we play the Lakers and we play LeBron. We know what happens last time we play them. But the Suns, you got to learn to play like this then. They're going to do it. It's going to be a thing. Nothing you can say, I can say, anybody says can change the way the refs are going to do it. So you've got to play the game and find a way to win inside that game as well too, which goes back to Salty's point at the beginning of the pod. You got to keep your head, Book, because I'm telling you, fellas, we are the fucking Ronnie Dangerfield of the NBA. No respect. And Gabe, you say, like, is it because going into the season we're going to find... No. Me and Salty will tell you, dude. And you should know this from the Leandro Barbosa Diao days. Like, it's going to continue to happen for the Suns. It's going to happen every game. I don't ever remember...
Just wait till the playoffs, man. Wait till we get put up against... the
Lakers.
Well, where are we right now? So right now we'd be playing Denver.
Portland. We'd be playing Portland right now.
Portland. You don't think they're going to want Dame time to go, a West Coast team, further West Coast than us? Like, come on, bro. They got all them connections up there with Nike and all this. It's just, that's a bigger market than us. Dame is higher.
Portland's a bigger market than us.
No, they're not.
Sports market. At least the way that they...
This guy off.
Where's their NHL team? Where's their base?
Why you always lying?
Where's their football team?
Have you ever been up to Portland? How small it is?
I have been. And shout out to Portland. It's beautiful, but I'm saying they get more respect. I shouldn't say that they're bigger, but they get more respect from the refs than we do, in my opinion, because they're further along the ladder of what the NBA considers a contender. They've been there for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
I don't know. I think it's a wash, bro. I think Damian Lillard's a bigger star. He's a superstar, obviously.
Yeah,
it's a star-driven league. So I think if the NBA was to pick between the two, they'd want Damian to move on. But CP3 is still a star. Booker's moving up the ladder. That's two all-stars compared to just one. McCollum was an all-star, but I don't know. I don't think it would be to that extent. I think it'd be kind of a wash if that was the case. When you get to the other rounds, like if you're playing the Lakers or the Clippers or any of these other teams, then yeah, you'd have some issues there. But yeah, the officiating is getting out of hand in the NBA. It's to the point where it gets the games unwatchable. Like, you can rewind the tape and every 5 seconds they're blowing the whistle. Charge, turnover, offensive foul, shoot some free throws. It's like every 5 seconds they're blowing the whistle, and it just kills the flow and the momentum of the game, So it just, I don't know.
Nobody buys a referee shirt, man. We pay and we watch the players, the team, all that stuff. Like, I don't get it. I mean, this could go into all sports too. We're all going to have beef with the home plate umpire, the line judge of the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? But I just don't get what's going on with this. I don't get it. It's terrible look for everybody. Like, why would you even push a certain agenda? And I do believe all of this, Charles. I do believe there's a secret deep state NBA to a point, because I just go back to the 1985 NBA draft and the New York Knicks in the envelope and hitting it on the side before it goes in, and then randomly that's the one that's picked. Like, no, like, it was blatant. I'm looking at the video so that I can show you guys.
Man, let's talk about the Spurs Suns infamous moment with that big shot, cheap shot Bob throwing Nash into the wall, and then they get rid of our players. Like, hey, Suns players, how dare you come try to protect Steve Nash from 7-foot Robert Horry? You're all suspended. Hey, Pop, you know how they were beating your ass? Wink, wink. Go get them. Go play the Lakers or whoever it was.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Portland beat the Mavs.
Yep.
Salty. Okay.
Yep.
Let's take a look at the night.
Hold on. I found the video. This is amazing content, so I'm going to share it right now.
All right, I'm excited to see this. Let's see.
Have you ever seen it before, Gabe?
I don't think I have, man.
So what you need to understand about this video is that this was at a time when the Knicks were absolutely a trashy organization. And lo and behold, the best player that they've seen in forever is going to come out of the draft, and his name is Patrick Ewing, the center, and it's a center-driven league, right? So everybody thinks that the world revolved around the Knicks, right? And New York. New York is the mecca of basketball. So this team needs to be good because we need the league to be good. And the league wasn't really going. Michael Jordan hadn't arrived yet onto the scene like he was just a rookie and he was on fire. But they needed New York to be a market, man. They needed the money. So watch this tool of a guy right here go up, and he starts tossing in the picks, right? It's not like the ping pong like back then. So if you're wondering what's going on, this is the way they did it. The lowest 7 teams, they each got their logo in an envelope, a square envelope, looks like 1 foot by 1 foot, and you just pick one and go. It's not even odds or nothing like that. So it gives anybody a chance to get the #1 pick. Thank God they changed it. But you see him going up there, and he's just tossing in the first one. He'll just toss in the second one, the third one, and then randomly he's going to stop, and you see him just kind of, it looks like it grazes the side, but when you replay it, like he comes down with force a little bit on the bottom of it. I'll let you see, but you'll see he's going to toss the first 3 in, and then just watch. Why'd you do that, bro? Toss. Tosses the rest in. Every single one in, he tosses the rest in. Let's go back.
Oh, boy. It's getting hella conspiratorial.
That is the only one that you hit. There's whole articles about it, bro. This isn't just like a conspiracy thing. This was on ESPN, SI.com. This is the only one he does anything with, or onto the side or a corner. Here it goes. Toss. He had 6 tosses, and one of them, specifically on the corner, he hit.
You notice how the camera like zoomed out of focus on the third one too, or the fourth one?
I did not.
Just look at how the camera is. It's like panned out. You can see what's going on with him, 3, and then it goes out of.
It goes like way in, so he couldn't see it.
Salty, your other picture would have been perfect for this moment. But man, I guess I'm too stupid to follow.
Oh my god. Okay, maybe I knew this and I didn't. Maybe I knew this and I just never caught it before. So this is the moment when they picked it.
They're like, oh my god, how did it happen? I'm so surprised.
Right before. Like, this is the deep state stuff that we're talking about, and you're talking about all these other franchises that could have used a Patrick Ewing. Like, are you kidding me? He was by far and away the best player to come out of the draft since Michael Jordan, but they thought he was going to be better than Hakeem, who went #1 the year before in '84, if you remember. Okay? So just absolute garbage by everything. Here's the thing that I did not pick up before. He gets it. You kind of see me scrolling right there. Here's the thing.
He looks guilty as sin, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
Bro.
Those looks he's given are like,
this isn't shit. I'm so surprised.
This isn't nowadays. Like, you already have it's already printed out. Well, I just did it for luck. No, you didn't, man.
Whoa.
And then you go back to the Suns and Tim Donaghy gambling on us. We could go on, but there is an agenda for the NBA. I don't think it's out of question, and I hope to God I'm wrong. I really hope to God I'm wrong.
Well, I hate the refs too, man. F these refs. It's not going to get any better because they have big egos. and short fuses. And Booker has, like Salty was saying, a little bit of issue with staying calm and not getting rattled. You know, he needs to do a better job of that. I guess Monty does too. Man, so do you guys have any questions for us before we get out of here? We'll pull up the stats.
Pull up
schedule.
Yeah, let's do that. I want to go on a rant real quick about something. This is off topic of NBA, and I want to just say how absolutely shitty the WNBA. No,
the WNBA.
And
WNBA
how
talk,
shitty.
Folks, stay tuned.
How shitty they treated the NCAA treated women's basketball, and the teams that had the food is trash. I don't know if you guys saw the pictures of the weight rooms, the men's versus women's, and I've worked in convention centers, and you've always got more room. So the way that they treated them is absolute horse shit, and the NCAA has been horse shit for years. They have like 130 people working for the NCAA, which is a joke to begin with, considering how much they try to restrict every single athlete that comes through there. Don't profit on yourself is the biggest load of shit that I've ever heard. It's atrocious what they did. They need to make amends, and they need to treat everybody to some steak and lobster dinner. So that's my rant. I really wanted to touch on that because that just pissed me the hell off.
What are we even talking about, dude?
Seriously?
So, I heard WNBA, and then you were talking about something.
That's disrespectful. Fuck, man.
I'll tell you what he's saying. So at the March Madness thing, the girls, you should have seen this picture, man. The girls had these little hand weights, like tiny little hand weights, is like their whole gym. At least they were. This is what they were saying from what I saw.
Well,
I'm
trying to see how this has to do anything with what we're talking about.
He just wanted to rant on college.
Well, that's not the WNBA or women's sports has nothing to do with what we're talking about at all.
The man's got
that would be like me going off and talking about Joe Biden or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not what we're talking about. You feel me?
That's disrespectful as fuck. No, I don't.
It's not disrespectful. Let's take a poll from the chat. Talking about women's NCAA tournament and how they're being treated. Does that have anything to do with the NBA podcast we're on? It doesn't.
Well, if only we could do polls, but no, we can't. We literally, you guys can do it in the chat, whatever. But anyways, any questions?
So we're going to get to the scores or what?
Yes, I don't think anybody won that helps us, really. Jazz get a win over the Raptors.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been super slick. Magic Nets, doesn't matter. Heat Pacers, doesn't matter. Both East. Spurs beat the Cavs, doesn't help us. Warriors beat the Grizzlies, doesn't help us. Nuggets almost lose to the Bulls. Man, no help tonight.
So what's the upcoming schedule for the Suns?
Upcoming schedule, we've got the Lakers, obviously.
Mm-hmm. What day is that?
That's going to be Monday, I believe. Do you want to preview that? I mean, any thoughts on what's going to happen with that game?
They still don't have Anthony Davis, you know what I'm saying? So I think the Suns, if they play up to their potential, they should be able to beat them. I'm not going to say it's easy, but we lost Devin Booker for the whole third quarter. When did he get kicked the last game? It was third quarter.
You're right. You're right. And this is an NBA TV game, so you know he's going to probably be like really aggressive in this game because he got kicked out of that last LA game. Good point.
Yeah, so we were just smacking them, and that was in LA. So I think from a matchup standpoint, if they play like they're supposed to, we shouldn't have a problem beating them, you know? So, but then I say that they lost to the Wolves, you know what I'm saying? So,
yes. But this goes back to that thing. I think we play better against good teams than we do against bad teams. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, we like I was gonna bring that up. Like usually a lot of our losses are two bad teams, so it's like playing down to your competition or thinking that you're better than you are, you know. So I don't see them having issues with them. I think that we're a good matchup when they don't have Anthony Davis. Now when they do have him, then that's a totally different story. But I don't know. I think they should win.
Good question from P Dog. He says, "Will Torrey Craig finally suit up? We need his defense." I would like to see him go out there and defend LeBron. I am not going to sit here and call him a LeBron stopper because I saw a meme that makes fun of people calling players LeBron stoppers. So I think that's kind of ridiculous. Nobody technically stops LeBron, especially some dude who just got traded for cash considerations.
Oh, okay. That guy.
Torrey Craig, our new guy.
Yeah. Wasn't Crowder guarding him somewhat? They're kind of switching off.
Yeah, Crowder, I feel like, is a little bit too stubby-armed for him, and Mikal is a little bit too thin. Torrey Craig seems to be bigger and longer and heavier. Dude, good call, P-Dog. I would effing love to see Torrey Craig get some minutes, his first minutes. So I don't know if Roy is the one that's been asking this all chat. Or all episode, Moore or Carter. So he's saying, will they get traded during the deadline? But I want to phrase it to you the way it was phrased earlier. Who would you rather trade if you had to get rid of one of them in a deal? Who would you rather move off of, Moore or Carter? Chat.
Me.
And the chat, but you first, Salty.
I would probably get rid of Moore because he's older. Isn't he older? I think he's older, right? Because Carter's relatively young. Plus,
this is crazy. You're gonna take Javon?
Yeah, because Moore, like I said, how old is Moore? I really want to know how old he is.
He's much older than Carter.
Yeah, because I think he's a seasoned veteran and stuff like that. I think Carter is relatively young. You know, I don't know. I probably go with Carter.
So
it's weird,
JW, I did not expect that from you, bro. JW is saying trade Moore. P-Dog saying sticks. So
Moore's 30.
Yeah.
How old is Carter? He's like in his early 20s.
Yeah, he's mid to early 20s. My feeling on this is like, I'm going to say Javon Carter, but that's because I'm Gabe Von Carter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love him so much, and he has that place in my heart where I don't want to let him go. Okay, P-Dog's saying he's 32. 32, that sounds a little bit more like it, right?
Damn, 32. Holy
so
shit.
from a pure fan's perspective, I say keep my boy Javon. I can't let him go. I'm more attached to him than I am Etuan. However, Etuan, if I'm not picking from my heart, I'm picking from logic, Etuan. For a title, for this 3-year title run.
Oh, so you're talking about the short term? Yeah.
Well, I think of everything about this Suns team. I'm thinking in 3 years. I'm thinking about a 3-year regime with Chris Paul, and so under those circumstances, I think Etuan. But that's a really tough call. If you gave me the trigger though and said make the choice, I'd accidentally hit Javon because I love him so much.
Yeah, I think they're kind of – I don't think that you'd really miss out by doing one or the other from a standpoint. I don't know how long Carter's contract is. I don't think he's like a huge part of the core or like – you know what I'm saying? So, like, if you could get better, you would – both of those people would be up, you know? I don't think it'd be that big of a deal.
Let's see. Trade DA to the Rockets for Tucker and put him into 5. Tucker already went to the Bucks, man. The rich get richer. It would have been really nice to get Tucker back, but I think I'm gonna like this Torrey Craig guy, man. Have you seen any highlights from him?
He swatted Booker's game winner.
He's the guy that ended one of his game winner bids. He's defended.
He seems like a really good defender, is what he is.
He seems like a James Jones player. I can't wait to get to see him.
How
play.
tall is this dude?
I think I want to say between 6'7" and 6'9". He's not undersized. Does anybody know how tall Craig is. Can he what?
I'm just saying, can he float from different positions? You know, like there's certain defenders that can guard like a 3, 4, 5 if they need to. I'm wondering if this guy can versatile. Is he versatile like that?
He seems like he can coach. He can handle anybody between 2 and 4, 2, 3, and 4.
It's good.
You know, so it's just another defender. And it's like, if we're going to give Nader, which you're done with Nader as of tonight, it's like, well, this is like another Nader, right? A 3-point shooter, a defender. So let's give him some of Nader's minutes. I think that's very fair. They're saying he's 6'7". How you feel about that?
So what, he's a small forward? That's what he plays, small forward? Is that what he is? I don't know.
Yeah, he's a small forward. He is.
I mean, different. Like, how tall is PJ Tucker? 6'6" or something like that?
6'5", if we're being completely honest. He's 6'5".
But PJ Tucker is able to guard all kinds of positions, you know?
Yeah.
So it really depends on the player, and I haven't done enough research to say what he does or what he doesn't does.
Roy's saying, what if we trade DA for Wood? I mean, we're at the point where we would trade – I personally would trade DeAndre Ayton back for Richaun Holmes. Considering the 3-year regime that I'm talking about, getting a title for Chris Paul with Chris Paul for us, I think Richaun Holmes. But I know you guys are probably not down with that. Wood, I don't know, man. I'm more interested in letting DeAndre Ayton play out his contract with the Suns and bringing in someone like Aldridge, or hell, bringing in someone like Wood to supplement what Ayton is lacking right now. And I want to see if Ayton can get any of it back. Like, I'm not ready to toss Ayton into the wood chipper like a lot of people are. I know I talk a lot of shit about him, but I'm not ready to just give up on him. But I have given up on him being anything more than he is, which is inconsistent as hell.
Yeah, but you're going to have to pay the piper when his contract comes up, which I think.
No, I'm saying I'll let him walk then.
You know?
I would let him walk then. If he's still playing like this.
You'd let him walk for no compensation? That's what you're saying?
It'd be great if we could trade for him, right? I don't know that he's
There's no way.
Exactly. So if
you
it
can't
comes
do that from a basketball perspective. You cannot let him walk at all.
Dude, I'm not gonna throw if it's my money, if I'm James Jones, I'm not throwing good money
so
after
you have
bad.
to trade him then. You have to.
Yes, but like it's a catch-22 because he's tanking his trade value right now.
Yeah, but he has good games, dude. There's people that could feel like they can get the most out of him. There's trades that can be made, but you can't go into it and just be like, oh, we're going to let you be an unrestricted free agent. And it's just
I don't want to do that. I'm just fearful that we're not going to get anything for him.
He's your number one pick, the only number one pick you've ever had. And you're going to just let this asset walk? There's no fucking way. You either you pay the dude or you trade him. There's no in between that. You don't let him. There's no way they let him walk. So it's one or the other.
You're right, and it's the right thing to do. So then, what do you think? What do you think we're going to realistically be able to net for him in return?
I don't know. It's like you wouldn't obviously trade him right now because his stock's at an all-time low. But you take it, you go on an up cycle where he's had like a couple weeks where he's playing good and showing his potential, and it's all the GM's decision whether or not he's at the plans or not. Is he your guy? Like, the coach and the GM have to come to that conclusion, and they usually know, right? Because they know what type of player they want. If he doesn't fit that mold, then you ship him out, you know? So it's just like when, any trade, there's a lot of trades that go down where you didn't think that one team got returned for the value or whatever, and then it ends up, it's just trades happen, kind of package deals, and some teams are tired of their players and you like them on your team and it fits better. Some people might think they could fit Ayton into their system and get the most out of him. He'll turn into this 20, 25-point scorer and 12, 15 rebounder or whatever.
You think he will somewhere else?
I don't think he's going to ever reach that point.
You just fear that.
I don't fear it, honestly, but I feel like he would he could reach his potential in a different system.
Did a small part of you fear that when Dragon Bender went to the Bucks, they were going to make something out of him? Because a small part of me was fearful. I mean, did a small part of you get worried that the Warriors were going to be able to revitalize Marquise Chris, considering he was playing with the Splash Bros, right? Yeah. I mean, that's just kind of a part of it. I mean, a big part of me was worried about Kelly Oubre going to the Warriors and becoming the third Splash Brother. It doesn't always work like that. I think our system is special for these players.
Yeah, it's like when IT left.
Yeah.
And then he's killing it with his other teams, or like Dragic was with Miami and he's getting it to the finals and shit, So I don't know. It's just a lot. Sometimes it's not the right fit or the right time, but I don't know. I like Ayton for like a role player, but I don't like Ayton as a max player, So
right.
If you could somehow get him to sign a deal that's manageable, like as what he's playing at right now, and not a max deal, then you do that. But at the same time, you got to pay other players. You got to pay Bridges. You got to pay Cam Johnson. You got to pay, all these people are going to come up. And then what do you do with them? Obviously, they're part of your core. Booker's already been paid. So there's only a certain amount of money to go around,
I'm going to be really pissed off if this franchise lets Amari Stoudemire walk in his prime, but signs DeAndre Ayton to the money that he wants. That's not going to be okay. And I don't think James Jones is going to do that. James Jones is not Lance Blanks, No,
they're not going to. I don't think James Jones would be held at gunpoint to sign Ayton. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he would sign him to a deal he's not comfortable with, if that makes sense.
These dudes are saying, what do you think about Drummond or McGee to come in and maybe start and teach Ayton? I love it.
I love it, but
they can't play together. I don't want Drummond and Ayton on the court ever at the same time, and I don't want McGee and Ayton on the court. They would not help each other at all. Now Aldridge, that's a whole nother story. You've been warming up on Aldridge. Tell me about that.
The thing is I know Aldridge from when he was actually being talked about in the NBA. I haven't really followed him since he went to the Spurs, to be honest. In the first couple of years with the Spurs, he was kind of on national television because the Spurs were still legit, kind of. But honestly, I never hear about the dude. I never see his highlights. I never I even forgot he was on the Spurs at one point, before he got brought up. So I remember the old Aldridge, the dude that was the Suns wanted to sign, the guy that was an all-star. I don't know what he is now, and I've seen his stat lines and stuff. It seems decent as a role player. But I still think that he's better than anything we got on the bench right now, specifically Frank Kaminsky. So if he could take Frank's spot, I think that would make you a better team for the playoffs. Plus, Aldridge has playoff experience as well, which I like. And he's a more consistent three-point shooter, which I like as well. You know what I'm saying?
He's a really good three-point shooter for his size. Yeah. And the signs that show me that we really need to be going after Aldridge are two things. Spurs fans still say great things about LaMarcus Aldridge. Spurs fans who are about to be rid of him. I know, P-Dog, I know he blew us off. But, bro, sometimes things like that happen, and it's just not meant to be. He would have came here with Tyson Chandler, and we wouldn't have had anything for him. We still would have been running Mike James at the point guard. It might not have just been time for Aldridge. But Spurs fans are still saying good things, even though they're about to lose him. That's a good sign. And all of our Portland friends, shout out to all of our Portland folks in the chat. They want him back. after he left them high and dry. They still want him. So this isn't a guy like Boogie who it's like, can he even play anymore? It's not like that. This is a guy who's sought after. And you brought up a great point, man. That's a good playoff piece, right? He has playoff experience. And right now all we have is Chris Paul and Crowder with playoff experience. I love the idea of having a true big that has playoff experience because Crowder is kind of fallen off. He's more of a glue guy, and I'm loving what he's giving us, but he's not like wowing you with points or production, right?
Yep.
So three playoff players on our team, players that have played a lot of playoff games. Shit. I'm all in on Aldridge, but if I'm being completely honest, I don't think we're going to get him. Do you?
Nah, probably not.
And why? Not. Why won't we get him?
I don't know. He was at Portland first. Maybe he wants to finish his career there. He had a chance to pick Phoenix. He picked San Antonio. I don't know. I mean, he has ties with Monty. I think that it's between either us or Portland, really. I don't know what it would come down to after he gets bought out. Like, if he picks Portland, so be it. I don't know. I don't think he's like a game changer. He's not going to, sway things too much, but I think he's an upgrade over Frank Kaminsky, and that's the only thing I'm looking at. Really.
He's an obvious upgrade over Kaminsky. Kaminsky didn't even start tonight. He's not starting lately.
He's not starting lately, and he's just kind of existing out on the court.
He's an emergency big. Pull the cord in case of emergency.
Yeah, because you see him out on the court, he's just kind of floating. He's not really. He's just like, hey, I'll catch the ball, I'll throw it, I'll swing it. It's not really like he's just exists. He exists on the court is what he's doing right now.
JW makes a great point. So he's saying if we had Ibaka, we'd be set. But hopefully Sticks can develop into that type of player. Hey, how about Sticks starts developing into any type of player? I want to see Sticks on the court in a situation where the game's not already won, like tonight. I don't like it, man. I don't think – okay, Nader. Does he not have some minutes? All right, so we lost Salty. I'm sure he'll be back. Everybody in the chat, do you guys feel like Nader's minutes could maybe some of them could be shared with Sticks? I'm trying to think who else would you cut minutes for? Salty, who else would you cut minutes for Sticks? I'd cut minutes from Nader. Why can't we get – it's not COVID anymore. I refuse to believe –
It's the coach. It's the coach, dude. It's the coach that wants experienced players that aren't going to make mistakes. Because I think that Sticks' problem is he's a rookie, man. He's a rookie big he has lots of energy, and he's just going to go out there and make mistakes, which he needs to do. He's just kind of a raw talent, and I believe in his talent, but he didn't get any summer league, didn't get any preseason. This is a team that's contending right now or wants to be a contender. So you don't have time to really experiment with young players. Now, if they were an 8 seed, I don't even outside of the playoffs looking in, maybe you could do that. But the coach wants to win at the end of the day. He wants to set his lineups for the playoffs. And he just sees Frank Kaminsky as a more solid option who's not going to make a ton of mistakes, and he just goes out there and does what he wants, as opposed to this raw talent that can do some stuff that's going to wow you, but he can make a bunch of mistakes, So that's the only thing I can tell that Monty, why he's doing what he's doing, or he just sucks, and I don't know. I don't think he does.
We know he doesn't suck.
Yeah, no.
We know.
Why is it? So why aren't they just putting his ass in the G League right now? Why doesn't he stay there? Why isn't it? Because obviously he's not getting game time.
Any game time.
So put him in the G League. Let him rack up stats in the G League. At least that he's getting. I mean, he's practicing with the team.
You know how a few weeks ago we had the conversation where we're like, man, we got to start giving Chris Paul more credit. We need to start talking about Chris Paul more and guiding the conversation towards him.
We never talk about it.
Well, that's just because he's so damn good. You know, it's like, do you even think about your carburetor in your car unless it's effing up, and it never effs up? So why would you ever talk about it? Because it's never effing up. It's always consistently good for you. You don't even think about it. But I think we need to start talking a lot more about Sticks, and we need to start clamoring for him to get playing time. Like,
kind of just get it in the mindset of the fans or something.
Just, yeah, dude, like that needs to be a thing. Like, I want to hear more. Like, I do not believe that we whiffed on Sticks and we should have gotten Halliburton. That completely remains to be seen. No one knows that. All you know is you've seen Halliburton play. You have not seen Sticks play. For all you know, he's the next Pascal Siakam. Because, so someone was saying, what if he turns into like a Miles Turner? I see Pascal Siakam in his future. He has a little bit of handles.
I don't know. Like I said, the eye test, I'm not a scout or anything, obviously. But like from a raw standpoint, just looking at him play, looking at his G League highlights, just the first game of the season he played, just how confident he was stroking a three in the NBA. Like that, there's not a lot of players that would come in as a rookie and just stroke a three like that and like it's nothing, you know? And like
several from the corner.
Yeah, I mean, and then from when he's screwed up or misses a shot, it doesn't phase him. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to the rack still. You know what I'm saying? So it's the confidence standpoint. He's just more of a raw prospect, right? Like I said, his body needs to put some weight on. He needs to get experience playing against NBA players and shit like that. But from a confidence standpoint and a shooting perspective, he got all the tools to make it work. So I just think he's, like I said, he's a rookie on this team. It's kind of like the D'Antoni teams. They would sell their draft picks because D'Antoni wouldn't develop these players, you know? So for the longest time, they would just sell the draft picks. Go look it up. The Suns would be, get in the playoffs, and then they'd have a low pick. They didn't even bother drafting players. They would sell it for money considerations because D'Antoni would not develop them or put them in a rotation. So there's certain coaches that just they're not about developing players at this time. If you're a contender, you are a contender. You're not trying to fold in developmental players. You're just kind of past that option. And the Suns at this point they need to win. They don't need to be this like they have a rookie. Obviously, he got drafted high, but at the same time,
how nice would it be for the Suns in this upcoming playoff run? That's right, I said upcoming playoff run. How nice would it be to have a rookie big who's like got his feet under him and knows what to do in games? Like, we're gonna have our first round top 10 pick. Completely, like, he's going to be green, bro. He's going to be like he has have no game experience. What if we need him in the playoffs? God forbid Saric goes down.
Mm-hmm.
What if we need Sticks and this whole time we've been giving all of his minutes to Pyramid Poppy so that he can play poor man's Michael Jordan and live out his he got game fantasies?
Yeah,
I just think it's short-sighted, man. JW said Sticks. He said Sticks looks like he should have been raised in the 50s. Yo, hey, now we actually have viewers. Okay, we used to talk about this when it was just me and Salt talking.
He does look like he should have been in the 70s, bro. You know,
he looks like
goggles.
He looks like he's from a black and white picture, or like he'd be in a black and white movie
where they're shooting in like actual baskets back in the day.
He's got those Urkel glasses, those Urkel goggles, which my dad made me wear those when I was little, and I'm scarred by them, bro. Like, honestly, I looked like a bitch. I looked like a nerd. They would fog up, so I'd constantly have to take them off and like try to get air between them. And I just don't understand, as a grown man who's making an NBA salary, why he still wears those swimming goggles,
bro.
Because he needs to talk to Amari and have them fashion those Amari aviator looking. What were those like? Those almost like volleyball looking glasses to protect his cornea.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get him those, and then he's looking like Stat. Oh,
bro. So what?
Play.
These dudes are rich. You've heard of LASIK eye surgery, right?
Jalen, did I do that? Smith, yes. Every time he does something good, that would be awesome in the stadium if they could play that over the speakers. He hits a three, and did I do that? Oh,
he
God.
comes out with suspenders to play.
Oh, man. Yeah. What were we going to say?
Like, how come he can't get LASIK eye surgery? Fuck. I mean, pay for that. Where they use the laser on your eye and like fix your eyesight?
Maybe he's scared. Maybe he's scared. I mean, this kid is
he's
not
like, I like these goggles. They're me. I can't get rid of them. It's like, all right.
You look like you're about to swim some laps against Michael Phelps. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know.
Yo, just think about it. He gets done with practice. He hits the pool. Does not have to take off his glasses. He's just good to go.
Takes his jersey off. Dives into the therapy tank.
He has like his swim trunks under his shit. He's like, I was born for this.
And that's why coach won't play him. I'm not playing a kid that wears swimming goggles. All right, moving on. Moving on. Gabe, that picture, the squad. Oh, yeah. Did you see that, man? That picture of
Oh, he wasn't in the picture?
Aiden? Yeah, dude. What the F is that? How is that possible?
Where was that picture and why? What's the context of it?
I'm gonna pull it up and I'm gonna show you. The context of it is they were taking a picture to celebrate Booker's Western Conference Player of the Month title.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Now, all right, I'm pulling it up. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to stop this screen.
Pulls up some prawn on accident.
So I'm right. T-girl. So here's I'm assuming that's Ayton's ass. Maybe not. If it is, I think that's off to the right in the gray, like he's like tying his shoe or some shit. Let's go ahead and count these dudes up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's Nader. 6, 7, 8. Sticks.
Sticks is goofy
9,
ass
10,
back
11, 12. 13 out of the presumably 15. Right?
Do they have 15 on their roster?
I don't know. I don't know if they do.
Damian Jones got
he's not there anymore. He's with the Lakers.
And they didn't really add anybody except for the dude they just picked up.
Why is Ayton not in it? Look how happy Gabe Von Carter is. Look how happy Mikhail Jail. Look at Master Splinter, for Christ's sake.
Is that the owner? Who is that, Sarver?
That's Sarver handing it to him.
Where's the coach?
At Sticks. Sticks gets no playing time, and his ass is cheesing. Okay, Nader is back here thinking about when he's going to go 1v4 next.
Who's on the very left?
That's Tyshawn Alexander, our other rookie who hasn't got to play yet. Like, look how happy Langston is. Where the fuck is Ayton in this picture?
Taking a shit? I don't know. Getting traded.
Man. I don't know.
I heard that Booker and DA don't like each other, but
who did you hear that from? Suns Geek?
No, I heard it from my sources that I don't have.
Don't say you have sources.
I said I don't have them. So
oh, okay, good.
The sources I don't have. No, I just heard it on the grapevine, dude.
It seems like Chris Paul don't like him. It seems like Chris Paul is really tired of suffering.
I mean, why would you like him when you could spoon feed everybody and their mom just the worst offensive players to get points on your team, and this dude can't get it? It's crazy.
Man. Well, any other questions, guys, for your boy Salt? What were you gonna say, Salt?
Nothing, dude. Nothing.
What's good, King? Shout out the chat, man. P-Dog, Static Truth is shocking. Burner, as always. Roy. P-Dog already said. JW. Iverson Vlogs. JW, I think you're new, man. I haven't seen you in here, man. We appreciate you coming out. We appreciate it. All the new people, all the people that have been here since day one. Iverson Vlogs, definitely day one. Charles, although Charles is always giving me shiz, but I love it. I do, man. We love you, Charles. Anybody else in the chat that you see, bro?
Nope. If we missed you, let us know. We'd like to shout you out. If you guys could hit the like button and share this on your favorite social media or any kind of Suns fans you guys know, it'd help out because, you know, Suns fans like options to listen to podcasts. We're kind of not the normal podcast, obviously. So
yeah, man.
It's good to get the word out.
Yeah, man. Please hit the like button if you haven't already before you leave. Also, if you don't mind, leave us a little comment, just anything after the podcast ends. Those comments at the end of podcasts seem to be what the algorithm
they're big.
really
Yeah, they're big.
about.
They're big too. Yeah,
for sure. Shout out to Suns Geek, our newest panel member. He was not here tonight. He's load managing. I think he's got like 3 or 4 ladies in bed waiting for him. He just couldn't pull himself away from them. And shout out to Coach. He got disconnected. We love you, Coach. And man, shout out to all you guys. We appreciate you guys. Got a couple of nights off, and we should be here back Monday for that. We will definitely be here back for that Lakers game. And I think we're gonna have Suns Geek. Salty, I didn't tell you this, but Suns Geek says he's going to want us to either – yeah, I will let Suns Geek out of the basement Sunday night. He's got a couple more quotas he needs to hit for Suns videos. Once those are done, I'll hoist him up out of the hole. But he's going to want us on his podcast, and we'll probably hop over here when that ends. He's going to do a short little podcast after the Lakers game, if you're down, Salty.
yeah.
Coach. So – we will see you guys Monday. Good dub tonight. Could have been a disaster. This could have been a completely different podcast. Thank God it wasn't. I don't think Salty ever would have came back on the podcast if we lost 2 in a row to the T-Wolves. I thought we were going to lose him. Weren't we, Salt?
Yeah, I told you if we lost, I'd be done podcast.
But would you really?
I don't know. I would have had to think about it, dude. Shit.
You would, yeah. He was hot tonight, but we got the W. It's all that matters. Let's just effing forget about this. This T-Wolves series never happened. We don't talk about it. We throw the tape away. Thanks for coming out. We'll see you guys Monday.